Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've been getting a lot of requests to go ahead and talk about my birth story. If I sound a little sick, it's because I've been sick for this past week. I'm on my second week of being sick now. It's been horrible. But back to my story. This is a story that I really don't like to talk about because I'm not gonna say it was a bad experience, but the nurse I had an experience with was kind of bad. But overall, it's almost, my daughter's almost gonna be a year, so I feel like I should be able to talk about it. And it just angers me, makes my skin boil. But it is what it is, I can't change it. I can only learn from my experiences. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you guys. So maybe at the end of the video, your guys' skin will boil. Maybe you'll feel like some type of way towards it. So I went ahead and did some notes on my phone. So if you catch me like looking at my phone, it's just because I'm looking at the notes I wrote down. I want to go ahead and give you guys every detail, everything I remember, and just step by step of how it went. So the reason I ended up delivering at this certain hospital was because I had two choices. My OBGYN, I love my OBGYN. He is like number one. Like, he's the best OBGYN I've ever met. Like, he's been in the family for so long. Like, he helped my mom deliver her two babies. Like, we have like a close connection, I guess you can say. He's known us since we were young. So this is why I wanted to stay with this OBGYN. So I had two hospitals to deliver at. So option 1 and option 2. I had decided to deliver at option 1, but my OBGYN had told me that he wasn't doing deliveries at this hospital, so I had no choice but to go to this hospital. And this was a week before I had my baby. So I felt like, wow, I'm not going to change OBGYNs. I'm just going to, give this hospital a shot. It could be a great hospital in the end. So it's Halloween, October 31st. Rooster and I decided to go to the Halloween parade. We go to this parade every year. So we were like, let's just go walk around. I needed to walk more. So I was like, yeah, let's go to this parade. We go home to change, so I'm changing. And I feel like water come out, like, down there. This whole video is going to be TMI, just to let you guys know. So I felt water come out, and I knew that it was like too much to be pee, but too little to be like my water breaking. So I didn't really know what it was. So we decided to go to the hospital. So we arrived to the hospital, to this certain hospital that I had to stay at. And I check in, they tell me, go ahead and put a pad to see if you fill the pad up, and they could go ahead and test it, all this stuff. So I ended up getting checked in, and the night nurse was really nice. She go ahead and wheels me into like, they have like this monitoring room. So I'm in this monitoring room. It's just me and Rooster, and we go ahead, they change me into a gown. She comes in, she says, you're leaking from your water. We're gonna go ahead and call your OB. They call my OBGYN, and he tells them like, she's losing a lot of water, and this is bad because we have to monitor the baby. If I guess the baby loses a lot of water, it's bad. They could like stop breathing or something like that. I understood. So my OBGYN comes, and he makes a decision that they're gonna induce me for the best of the baby. So I was like, oh my god, it's finally happening. Like, I'm gonna get induced, I'm gonna have this baby, like, she's coming. So we go ahead and start the induction process. It was around 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. And they go ahead and start by inserting, a pill up there to go ahead and help your cervix open. So this nurse, puts the pill in. Rooster just worked a 12-hour night shift. He was working night shift at the time, and he was really tired. So I asked her, do you have a room where he could get some sleep? She said, yeah, he could go ahead and sleep in this other room. So he goes, to get some sleep. I'm gonna get some sleep. And then at 12, this nurse again, she checks me. She says, you're not really opening. We're gonna have to put another pill in there. So she puts another pill in there. And finally, she gives me some medication to help me get some rest because I felt very anxious. Then it was at 6 o'clock, this nurse wakes me up. We're gonna call her Kim. So this Kim wakes me up, and she says, hey, we're gonna go ahead and check you. I was like, all right, that's cool. No, I thought I heard my baby. I was like, all right, that's cool. Can you go ahead and grab Rooster? She's like, oh no, like, he doesn't have to be here. Like, I'm just gonna check you. I was like, all right, cool. just, you know, do your thing. So she goes and she starts putting in like this like string or this wire type of thing, and I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, you didn't tell me you're gonna put that in there. So she's like not talking to me, like not acknowledging me, and she's putting this thing in there. And I felt like the worst pressure, pain like feeling I've ever felt. Like I was literally about to cry. Like I was telling her like it's hurting, I'm in pain. And she was just like, oh, I'm almost done, I'm almost done, like not even caring. So my first reaction was to like kick her. I kicked her like right here. It wasn't that serious, but yeah. And she was like, did you just kick me? And I was like, well, yeah, I'm in pain. And then I see Rooster come in. He's like, what's going on? And I was like, I don't know, like she's doing something down there. She's like, your water just broke. I was like, okay, so you didn't tell me you were gonna break my water, like you told me you were gonna check me. She's like, yeah, well, this is part of the process. So I was already like, she's doing stuff without telling me that she's gonna do that stuff. Like, you told me you were just gonna check me. And then Rooster comes in and he's like really upset. I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, oh, it's because the nurses weren't letting me in because they said that this was like a monitoring room and that, you know, I don't have to be here. He's like, so I snuck in or whatever. And I'm really like bothered at this point of this situation that just happened. But Rooster's like calming me down. He's like, let's just calm down. Like, we're about to have the baby. Like, let's just, you know, focus on that. So by 8 a.m., I'm 4 centimeters. And I tell this nurse, Kim, that I have to, you know, talk to. There was only 2 nurses at this moment. I guess people had called out. I don't know what the hell was going on. But I tell her, I'm like, hey, can I have the epidural? Like, I'm in a lot of pain. I was literally, like, crying. Like, I've never felt this pain in my life. I felt like it was just someone constantly punching you in the stomach, like, over and over and over and over again. So I tell her, I'm like, hey, can I have the epidural? Like, I'm in a lot of pain. She sees me crying, and, like, she looked at me like she can't take this pain, you know. She had like this face of annoyance. So yeah, she kept blowing me off, and she's like, yeah, I already told them, like, your epidural's gonna come. So then she kept saying, like, try to get a little longer, try to go a little longer. And she's like, oh, when I gave birth, I didn't get the epidural at 4 centimeters. I was like, okay, like, this is my labor. Like, you are not in labor, I'm in labor. I was really just trying to rub her off. Like, she was really bugging me. Like, it was irritating my soul. So she kept saying, we're gonna go a little longer. So Rooster goes outside to talk to one of the nurses, and he's like, yo, my girl's in pain. Like, you guys are not gonna get the epidural. Like, she's crying in there. And the nurse was like, oh, well, this is Kim's job. Like, she's the nurse, and she said she's handling it, so you guys just have to be patient. We have other people we are attending, and he's giving other epidural to other women, so she's not the only one in labor. So this was going on for an hour, and I was like, I'm done. I told Kim, I was like, you need to call my OBGYN right now. She's like, oh, that's funny, because I have actually been trying to reach him, but he's not answering. He's probably busy doing something, you know, it is morning. He has patients to handle. So finally, the person to come and put the epidural comes in, and, you know, I get the epidural. I was 5 centimeters by the time he came. You know, it was like an hour later. He puts the epidural, and like so they kick Rooster out of the room. I guess he can't be there while you get the epidural. So I was like, that's fine. So it's the person putting the epidural behind me and the nurse in front of me, and she's like, you have to put your hands like this so I could put my hands on top, and I'm gonna go ahead and guide you through this. Like, I didn't even want to touch this lady. Like, I didn't want to touch her, I didn't want to talk to her, nothing at all. Like, I did not want to be around her. And I was like, no, I'm fine like this. Like, I just want to put my hands like this. And she goes, well, the procedure is you have to put your hands like this. I told her, yeah, but I don't feel comfortable. Like, I feel like I have to take the pain like this. I was like, is it fine if I just stand? And the guy was like, no, you're fine, you could stay like that. So I was just like, she's just being annoying at this point. And she dead looked at me in the eyes, like, She was like, well, if you can't take a contraction, then, you know, you won't be able to handle anything that comes at life with you having a baby. Like, I'm literally in pain, lady. Like, just shut up. I don't need to know how I can't handle a contraction. Like, I felt weak as a mother. Like, our contractions really not that bad, because to me, they were horrible. Like, they were the worst pain ever that I've ever felt. So I was just like done. I was done. She had to keep making these little dumb comments, bickering at me. This is totally not what I expected. So finally, Rooster comes back in. She didn't tell him after the epidural was finished. She didn't call him and let him know that it was done. He had to come back and check, like, hey, was it done? I'm like, yeah, I've been waiting for you. Why didn't you come? He's like, oh, it's because, you know, they didn't tell me. So then I start calling my mom because I was gonna tell her like, hey, I just got the epidural. Like, you guys need to come. You know, you guys need to come because I'm gonna have the baby soon. Just be alert. So I'm about to call her and she snatches my phone and she's like, no, she can't be on her phone. She needs to relax. She wanted the epidural, so now she has to relax. And Rooster was thrown up. He's like, so she can't use her phone. She's like, no, we don't allow them to use their phones because they have to focus on when they get inductions. I was just like thrown off by this. I was like, it's fine. I'm gonna get some rest. You go ahead and call my mom. So Rooster wasn't getting any service. He had to step out. He had to literally walk outside the street to get service. Couldn't contact my parents, anything at all. And she comes in, Kim, she's like, well, why are you trying to call your family to come if there could only be one person in the delivery room? I was like, well, my OBGYN told me it could be 2 people. So I want, you know, Rooster and my mom there. And she was like, no, well, the requirement here is only 1 person. So it's either him or your mom. And obviously, you know, I wanted Rooster in there. I wanted my mom to have this experience with me. You know, her first daughter having a baby, her first girl grandbaby. I felt like this was big to her too. So, you know, it sucks because, you know, we had to figure out a way to call her and tell her, like, hey, you know, you're not able to come because there can only be 1 person. I know she was heartbroken by it, but she understood. She's like, it's fine. Just try to calm down, you know, just relax. You're about to have this baby. Like, you're probably feeling tense. Just relax. When Kim checked me again, they're like, you're 9 centimeters. You're about to have this baby. Like, we need to get you ready. But I want to let you know by the time you deliver that you won't have a room. I was like, why am I not gonna have a room? You know, it's a hospital. You guys should have a lot of room. She's like, oh, it's because we had somebody come with an emergency C-section. But, you know, don't worry. After your bonding time, you'll have a room. I was like, okay, that's fine. Thanks. We need to call the OBGYN. All of a sudden, they got a hold of my OBGYN. All of a sudden, you know, they were able to contact him. So they moved me into this other, like, delivery room, I guess. And this whole time she's complaining about how hungry she is, how she hasn't eaten anything, how they're understaffed. Like, I'm about to push a baby out. I don't want to hear that. Like, why are you complaining to me? We don't have the best relationship, clearly, you know. And she had like taken away my phone. She put it, I have no idea where. She took my phone away. Rooster walks in with a camera and, you know, he wanted to record. He wanted to take pictures. She's like, oh, no. You can't, like, you can't take any footage, you can't take any pictures, like, we don't allow that in here. I've seen millions of people record, you know, their labor, take pictures. They have done so much, and for her to not even let us take 1 picture to experience this, it was really annoying. So Rooster was like, I don't care what she says, like, I'm just gonna sneak in the camera. I was like, yeah, cool. So then she's like, oh my god, I hate delivering first-time moms. Like, I hate it. They take forever to push, like 2-3 hours. So get ready, honey. You're gonna be in labor for 2-3 hours. I told her, like, can I have some water? I'm feeling already tired. She was, oh, 3 to 5 hours. Let's make it 3 to 5 hours. I was like, okay, just relax, focus on my baby. I shouldn't even be getting mad. So she didn't want to bring me water. Cool. She said I couldn't have water before labor. I had to wait till after. I was like, no problem. My OB comes, he tells me, you know, what's about to happen, that I'm going to go ahead and do some practice pushes with her, and then we're going to go ahead and start pushing. After those practice pushes, like, it was time to push the real thing, the real thing. So my OB told Rooster, like, go ahead and put her neck, like, to her chest, like, to help her push. Boy, Rooster was hella breaking my neck, like, he was like, I was like, I can't breathe, you know, what are you doing? And she was like, oh, sorry. Like, boy, you freaking putting my chin to my chest, like, more than you're supposed to is not gonna help this baby come out faster. I pushed 3 times and she was out. Like, she came out. I was so proud of myself. So then, she came out and, you know, we looked at her and she wasn't, like, breathing. And they're like, oh, you know, we're gonna have to put her, like, on the breathing little machine really quickly, like that suction thing, and, you know, put a little bit air on her because she wasn't breathing. Then after about 5 minutes, she was fine. She was crying. They put her on my chest. They're like, we're gonna go ahead and do bonding time. I was crying. Like, when she came out and she didn't cry, and I seen them, like, talk about putting her on, like, on the breathing machine and all that, I kind of freaked out a little bit. I was like, why isn't she crying? The nurse is like, hold on, we're gonna do it right now. And Rooster was just, like, looking at her, like, he was just smiling. He didn't cry, but I felt his happiness. Like, I felt it in that moment. Like, he was so happy, and he looked at me. He's like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Like, he said those words. And like, he gave me a kiss in the forehead, and I was like, go like, go look at her. And he went to go look at her, and he was just like, she's so pretty, she's so pretty. So I was just like, oh, like, he's such a good dad. They weighed her, they gave her to me, and it was time to start like that baby bonding. The first thing I've seen, like, when people have their babies, they put them to breastfeed. So I was like, oh my god, like, what if she's hungry? Because I hadn't eaten anything. But Rooster's like, no, like, do the skin to skin. So we were doing like the skin to skin, and it was so crazy because she was crying like before they gave her to me, and when they gave her to me, like, she stopped crying. Like, it was magical. Like, she was just like, mama. It was so cute. And then Rooster was able to take a picture of us without that lady looking. And so after our bonding time, I was so tired. Like, I was so tired. I was exhausted. Like, I hadn't eaten. I had been in so much pain. I was sweating. I was tired. So I asked that nurse to bring me water. She didn't bring me water. She bought me ice chips. So annoying. And so she tells Rooster, like, oh, you should go get something to eat. He's like, well, what about her room? It's been an hour. She's like, no, we still weren't able to get it. We're prepping it. But, you know, go ahead and get something to eat. And, you know, we'll go ahead and monitor her and the baby. We're going to take the baby to take some tests so she could get some rest. And I told Rooster, like, no. Like, I want you to stay. Like, I don't want you to leave. I don't want to be alone. And then she was just like, Cassandra, listen to me. He just went through a process. He's processing. He's just going through transitioning and becoming a dad. I was like, I just had a whole damn baby. Like, I just popped out this freaking 7-pound 2-ounce baby, and you're saying he's processing? Like, she's like, oh, on top of all of this, he can't be here because this is like a sterilized room, so only you can be here, so he has to go. Like, go. She literally grabbed him, like, go get something to eat. Like, seriously, dude, I don't want him to leave. I don't want to be alone. I just had a baby. Like, I want water. I want my room. I want my family to come visit me. So Rooster was like, babe, I'm just go to the cafeteria and get something to eat. Turns out they had some hella nasty food at the cafeteria. So Rooster went to Panda Express to go get food. And, you know, obviously I fell asleep. I don't even know how or when I fell asleep. But when I woke up, I was panicked. I was like, I need water. But they didn't give me no water. So I called Kim. I was like, I need some water. Where's Rooster? Where's my baby? Where's my family? Where's my phone? What the hell's going on here? I was frustrated. I was so frustrated. Like, it's already 7 in the afternoon. So she comes and she's like, you're so immature. You need to grow up. You're 20 years old. You just had a baby. Like, grow up. Grow up for asking for my phone. Grow up for asking where my man's at. Grow up for asking my family, my child. Like, how is that not growing up? Like, explain to me. Having a room, having water, having TV, being able to shower. Like, how am I not growing up? I just had a baby. So I started to get off the bed. I was like, I'm about to self-check out of this hospital. I don't want anything to do with this hospital. I am done. I put up with you this whole time I had this baby. Like, come on now, dude. Like, I just had a baby. She's like, you don't need your mommy. Stop trying to call your mommy. I was like, girl, you're gonna get to know who my mommy is right now. So I'm screaming at her. Like, I am screaming at this lady. And this, like, head of the nurses came. She was nice. She's like, what is going on here? I told her, like, she's so rude. She's disrespectful. I don't want her here. Rooster was coming in. I was like, you two, you get out. Like, I don't want you here either. I don't want no one here. Like, you guys need to contact my family. You need to give me my damn child. You need to give me my room. Somebody needs to do something because I've been here since 2 and it's 7. She's like, oh, let me check. She started looking through papers. She's like, oh, your room's been ready. I was like, my room's been ready. This Kim Ho just said there's no freaking room ready for me. So she's like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and speak to her. Let's get you dressed up. I was like, no. Before, I want my phone. I want you to call my mom. I want you to call my dad. I want you to call my sister. I want everybody here that I want to be here. So she goes and, like, I give her the number. She calls my mom. And until I told my mom, why aren't you here? Why hasn't Rooster called you? She's like, well, he hasn't told us you had the baby. He hasn't had service. There was so much miscommunication going on here. So I told her, well, okay, like, you need to come. And then Kim passes by. She's like, well, visiting hours are over. I was like, visiting hours are not over because I've been out of room, but you guys haven't let her see me. So then this head of the nurse is like, oh, don't worry, like your family could go ahead and come in, we're gonna go ahead and let them see the baby, don't worry, like we're gonna go ahead and do something, we'll make it acceptable for this time, we know your situation has been rough. I was like, yes, and please get my OBGYN on the phone because I want to speak to him about what is going on here. So they go and they wheel me out to this room after like 15-20 minutes. They wheel me out to this room, they give me my baby. Like I'm right there in the room, and then this other nurse comes in, not the like head of the nurse or whatever, this other random nurse I've never seen. She's like, oh, we need to take your blood pressure. So she starts taking my blood pressure. She's like, oh no, really high, we need to give you medicine, we need to inject something, this is really high, what is going on here? I was like, well, what is it? She's like, really high. I'm like, numbers, what is it? She's like, really high. And I was just like, okay, well, no, like take it again, I want to know the numbers, take it again. She's like, well, it took off, I can't. I was like, okay, then find somebody who can take it again. My whole pregnancy I had low blood pressure. As a regular like non-pregnant person, I have regular like low blood pressure. So it was really weird to me of how it can be so high. Yeah, I just had like cocoraje, I just had a baby, but I've never had high blood pressure, never. So she takes it again and she was just like, oh, 90/70, normal, it must have gone down. You're telling me it went down in 2.5 seconds? Please. She's like, well, we should still administer the medication. I was like, no, I don't want any more medication. I don't want you guys to give me anything. Like, just leave me alone. Like, just get out, leave me alone, bring me some damn food, and that's it. So my parents come, they meet the baby. My mom's like, you know, I could go ahead and tell this nurse something, I could go ahead and go off on her, but just know, you know, you're the one that's gonna be staying here with the baby, so you know, you tell me what you want me to do. She's like, but I want what's best for you and the baby, and you're still gonna be staying here, so you need to decide. Like, they still need to take tests on the baby. I was like, you know what, she's right. Like, it was just a miscommunication, bad situation. They already told me that this nurse wasn't going to be attending me, I wasn't going to see her anymore, so that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and put a complaint in with my OB. The head of the nurses comes again, and she's like, hey, you know, that nurse can put a complaint in, and you're gonna have to talk to a social worker because she said that you're not fit to be a mother because throughout the whole labor you were acting up and you just couldn't control yourself. I was like, really? You just know the whole situation that went down and you're really gonna let this lady do that? She's like, I mean, she put the complaint in through the hospital, it's out of my hands, but I'll go ahead and put in a good word, like, I'm sorry. I was like, you know what, like, that's it. I need to contact my OB right now, like, you guys need to talk to him. She's like, I did contact him, but he's actually out of town. He actually had a family emergency after you had the baby, so my dad went ahead and contacted him, let him know what was going on, and he did. He was actually out of town at that time. So then the social worker comes in, and I told her what had happened. I was like, look, I understand she's doing her job, I understand, but she needs to be more careful. You're handling labor and delivery woman. This is something you have to be nice, you have to be caring, you have to be supportive, you don't have to put them down. I get it, I'm young, but I could be just as good as a mother of anyone else. No one is ever too prepared to have a baby. She's like, okay, well, we're gonna keep you here for 2 days because, you know, per protocol we have to monitor you and we have to see you interact with the baby and things of that nature. So yeah, for 2 days I was there, and you know, this nurse was I had like a whole different nurse. She was coming, she was checking us out, she kept telling me I was doing a good job, she was helping me breastfeed. And then the head of the nurses came. She's like, oh, you know, we're gonna go ahead and give you a car seat, diapers, clothes, like just everything, you know, an apology to what had happened, and we're gonna go ahead and write in her file a complaint. I know that they wanted to give me all of that stuff just so I could be like, hush hush, you know, nothing happened, don't try to sue this hospital or whatever, because I know what this woman did was not okay. The fact that she was really rude, the way she treated me, taking away my phone, things like that, I know that it wasn't okay. So they were just trying to, you know, make it seem like they were gonna handle it. So who knows, what if they didn't even put in a complaint for this lady? I don't know. So yeah, then the day to get discharged comes. I go ahead and I get discharged. You know, they gave me a bunch of like formula, milk for the baby, Similac. I get home and my baby had diarrhea, she had a fever, and no one told me like she was sick. I mean, no one told me that she had jaundice, no one told me that she had like a little stomach infection going on. So when I took her to the hospital, I took her to a different hospital, Children's Hospital. She was actually admitted for 4 to 5 days until they were able to get her better and give her antibiotics. So this whole time I was at this certain hospital, I delivered They didn't even tell me my baby was sick. I don't even know if they tested her. I don't even know what, because the day I went home, she didn't want to eat. She was just not waking up. Like, she just looked sick. So we decided to go. So here I am. I just had a whole baby and I have to go to the hospital again because they couldn't catch it at this hospital. It was really upsetting. It was really frustrating to go through that because, like, I was hurt right after I had this baby. Like, I was like, I just had this whole baby. I want to go home. I want to be with her. I want to relax. I want to feel better. We could have avoided all of this. They could have caught it at this hospital. That's why it's been so hard for me to tell people, like, my birth story and what happened. Like, as a first-time mom, you know, you want to go home. You want to enjoy your baby. You want to be with your family. You want to show off your baby. But I couldn't. I felt like I was going through so much stress, pain. I was in so much pain. Like, I was just in a huge amount of pain. My whole pregnancy, I suffered hyperemesis. I was hospitalized. I was fainting. I had to get pulled out of work because I was just so weak that it was just the cherry on the top, you know. But I feel like, you know, I learned a lot from this experience. I'm able to move on from it. It does hurt me, it really does, because I expected to have a beautiful birth story. But I am beyond thankful. Like I said, I am beyond thankful. I was able to have a happy, healthy, beautiful baby. She's the best baby in the world. Like, I am so obsessed with her. Rooster and I, we love her. She is just amazing. And I would go through this birth 1,000 times to have such a beautiful baby like how I do. You know, I feel like just because, you know, I'm young, I just turned 21. I got pregnant at 19, had her at 20. I just turned 21. But even though I'm young, it doesn't mean that I'm not fit to be a mother, or that I'm not gonna love her as much, or I'm not gonna be as good of a mother as someone older, you know. Every mistake I make is not from lack of love. It's from lack of not knowing. But I'm learning as I go, and I feel like I'm a damn good mother, you know. Everyone's gonna have their opinions, and everyone's gonna have, you know, their personal thoughts on how people parent, but that's fine. We're all doing the best we can, and that's just my story. That's just how it was. Her name is Azaria Sky Hernandez. She was born 7 pounds 2 ounces, 18 inches long. This cute little child. She's so amazing. She's November 1st, actually. She was born November 1st. She's just an amazing baby. She's about to be 1 year old, and she has been the center of my world. Like, I feel like since I had her, I haven't felt sad. I haven't felt like a little problem is a big problem. Like, she just makes my world so much better. And for her, I am so thankful. The best things in life happen unexpectedly, and I would do it again 1,000,000 times. So yeah, this wasn't to scare anyone or, you know, tell them they're gonna have a bad experience. Just because I had a bad experience doesn't mean you're gonna have a bad experience. But, you know, definitely look into where you're giving birth. Definitely ask questions. If you are going through what I went through with this nurse, raise hell. Tell them you don't want her. Tell them you want to switch nurses. Do something, because I feel like I should have spoken up sooner. But I only learn. I can only live and learn, and that's it. I'm growing, I'm maturing, and that's why old people are so wise. I feel like I learned a little bit more from this experience. And yes, my OBGYN did put in a complaint for this hospital. He did speak to everyone. I did speak to him when I went for my checkup, and, you know, he handled the situation in his way. He gave me reassurance. He apologized. But my OB, he's like a damn great friggin' doctor. Like, I am very thankful for him. He did so much for me during my pregnancy. I want, if I have another baby, you know, I do want to deliver with him, just not at that hospital. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. So yeah, guys, that's my freaking good bad birth story that I had. It is emotional to me. You guys might be like, it's not a big deal, or she's so dumb, she could have done more. But, you know, in that situation, you're not thinking about everything that's going on. You just want to have your baby already. You're in pain, you're going through so much. But yeah, so if you like this video, go ahead, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell button to get notified every time I post another video. Peace.